Hey YouTube, we are westbound and down in the old Fummins with an empty trailer, heading to the Vintage Tracks Museum in Bloomfield, New York. They recently had a liquidation of their entire contents through Almond Auctions, and though things got a little competitive towards the end, we were able to score a 1949 John Deere MC crawler, sight unseen, which is a little scary. So, we're about to see how far from a cream puff this thing really is. See you at Vintage Tracks. With gridiron grip back wheels. Kicking myself for not buying this one. Those are neat. How are you? Not too bad. Type F Traxxon. Well, there she is. At a glance, it looks pretty good, but she's definitely pretty worn out. Shoo! Definitely gonna need some sprockets. Well, get her loaded up and see what we've gotten ourselves into. Well, we'll go through the first stages of seeing if we can fire this thing up. Pull the sediment bowl off, and definitely got some rust in there and whatnot, but we'll get that cleaned up, flush the tank out, flush the carb out, and have to head into town and get a 6-volt battery for this because it still has the 6-volt generator on it. We don't want to burn that up. And a positive ground system. Let's get this cleaned up and go get a battery and see what we can do. So the oil in this thing didn't look too bad, but anytime anything's been sitting for a long time, I like to crack the plug because a lot of times the cast iron will sweat and you'll get condensation and the water will collect at the bottom of the pan. And as you can see, we've definitely got water sitting at the bottom of the pan, so I'm going to drain off the water until we get straight oil out of here and then tighten it up, see if it'll start and run, and if it does, then we'll give a good full fluid change before we do anything significant with it. But you should always make sure you check this for anything that's been sitting for a decent amount of time, especially in the Northeast where we have large temperature swings, because it will condensate and it will collect in the bottom of the pan. Well, I didn't take video of it, but stuck a battery in this thing and wouldn't crank over. Come to find out, the engine is stuck tight, so forgot to get video due to the crushing disappointment, but it's been soaking for several weeks now, part of the time in 50-50 diesel fuel and ATF, and blew that out of there, and then it's been soaking in 50-50 acetone and ATF. So we're going to pop the hood off it and pull the valve cover off and make sure the valves are free so we don't risk bending a push rod, and I'm sure some armchair warrior mechanics are going to have a fit, but we're going to chain it up to the 5420 and gently bump it back and forth a couple times and see if we can break the motor loose. Hopefully after several weeks of soaking she'll break right loose and we'll be on our way. We'll see. Well, I got the hood and the valve cover off this thing, and a little bit of surface rust on the valve retainers. The valves were lightly stuck, but I was able to tap them free. They seem pretty good now. I squirted some oil in on the chisel shaft, if you will, and around the valve stems, and down each of the push rods to get onto the cam lobes. I think we'll be just fine. I don't think it would have been a push rod. I think they would have broke free, but in one of these situations it's better to be safe than sorry. Make sure you don't make more work for yourself than is necessary. So now we get to the ugly part and see if we can break the rest of this thing free.